Welcome to mini lesson 7.4. This is from unit 7, and we're going to be learning how to make a direction controller. And this controller, it's a lot of fun. I like it because this is where you get to start doing some interactivity with your programs, with the user inputting information. So again, this is a fun lesson to teach, especially if you're new to programming. So you're going to create a game controller function that's based upon the sprite's direction. If you remember, we looked at the direction of the sprite in the previous video, where we're able to look at it by clicking on this letter I down here on the sprite. And we're also going to be able to use it to gather the user input from the keys they press and creating output. The output will be actually the physical movement of the sprites. Okay, let's save the details for after we look at the program, and I think I have it up. Ooh, I got lucky. Alright, so here's the program, and nothing's on the stage. All we have is this controller for the sprite, which is a cat, called controller. Okay, and you'll notice we have a forever loop, then we have 4 if statements. Each if statement has a hex block that's checking for a key pressed, which is the user information. We have set the up arrow, right arrow, left arrow, down arrow. And you can select all the different arrow keys, any key and any of the letter keys. Basically any key on the keyboard, except Scratch excludes the ability to select Shift, Control, Alt, and all those type of keys. If you were using more advanced languages, you would have those abilities to isolate down to individual specific function keys. But anywho, right here, so this will be our controller, and what we'll do is whenever the up arrow is pressed, the cat will move forward 10 steps in the direction it's facing. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on the information panel here so you can see the cat as we play it. And whenever we press the right arrow and the left arrow, we'll turn 15 degrees in either direction that we press. And then the down arrow, we move negative 10 steps. So it'll move backwards in the opposite direction it's facing. All right, look at the direction while I turn it around. And notice I'm pressing the up arrow to start, so it's moving. You'll notice the cat is moving in a circle, and the direction arrow kind of points in whichever direction it happens to be facing. Okay, and that's based upon me pressing the left and right arrow keys as it moves around. Okay, not a whole lot going on here, but it's a good start for us to start making some more interesting programs, unless you just really love watching this cat go around. Okay, now if you want to have some fun, you can go over here and change the information on how much it moves. So if I change it to 1 step, it goes forward very slow. If I press back, it still goes 10. You can go over here and change that to, say, let's double the amount it turns right, and then let's lower the amount that it turns left. And so it moves slow. If I turn right, it turns fast, but if I turn left, it goes very slow. Fast right, left slow. Now if you press the arrow keys at the same time, you'll have some interesting results because it's doing both items at the same exact time. If I turn the left arrow to 30 degrees, press play, and I press left and right at the same time, you'll notice, well, there's an initial kind of jump, but right now I'm pressing the left and right arrows at one time. It's not moving because it's moving 30 degrees to the right and 30 degrees to the left at the same time, which comes out to be 0 degrees movement. Okay, so something to keep in mind if you're making a game. You don't want your user to be able to have that ability of pressing 2 keys that are counter to each other. All right, and that is pretty much it for the code or the program. Let's go back to the presentation here. So the key press, it's a sensing Boolean block, and you use this to detect user input. Input is information that is being put into the computer from a third party, such as you, the user, or some input could be coming from other computer programs or websites or some sort of peripheral device you plugged into the machine. A lot of science classes use sensors that plug into computers and graphing calculators. So input is information that goes into the computer, such as the audio that you're hearing right now is the output from the input of me talking into a microphone. And then that brings us to the definition of output, which output is what you see happening or hear happening or whatever is taking place inside the computer. Some output is not something that you see with your senses, your eyes and ears and whatnot. Some of the output actually could be something that's stored as a piece of information in the computer too. But most of the stuff that we have in our output will all be from sight and sound. If you play major console games or any PC games with a controller that vibrates, that would be considered output also. Okay, and right here, this is kind of a good piece of information here. Look at how I can take these different hex blocks and I can start chaining them together. You probably saw this in the previous lessons, but if you haven't, just know this, that we can use these operator blocks such as AND, which is checking for the conditions of this being true and this being true, and we can put them together like so. Let's see. Okay, I think that wraps it up. Yeah, sorry, I was flipping around the presentation. So there you have it. You'll need these two pieces of items. There's nothing for the stage. Only sprite you'll actually program is the controller sprite. And go ahead and start the programming lessons, and good luck.